Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Post Fight. And in this edition of Post Fight, I'll be doing Post Fight UFC 294, Makachev versus Volkanovski 2. And how I feel, well, it's not how I feel about it, but how I did on the card. I went 7-4 in two no contests, but in reality, let's just be honest, that would have been 9-4. It would have been, yeah, that's not even, that's not a debate, that's not a matter of opinion. It's a fact that would have been 9-4, but it is what it is. Got a nut kick in one fight, another fight got a legal knee, but both guys were like, we could continue, like, so it is what it is. The nut kick is definitely unfortunate. But yeah, went 7-4, 4 losses. Let's get to the losses. So first loss I believe was the first fight on the card was Sharapudin Magomedov versus Bruno Silva. Went low confidence there, so I'm not like, oh, I picked him and say, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna destroy what's the name? Or this guy's truly a fraud. I just saw a pattern that he seemed to fit in, like kind of weird record fighting bantamweights. He just had like a bunch of fights, but now that's really the best competition for the most part. Pretty mediocre competition, or fighting guys that are coming up like 5, 6, 7 weight classes to fight him. Like it was like a very odd circus type record. So I was like, Bruno Silva is a guy who has accomplished a lot outside the UFC. He's a pretty high low fighter. He might not be at his best right now. On the decline clearly, but he has enough in his tank to be the guy who hasn't really fought to the level that he has fought at. And I just was not super impressed with his tape. And you watch him now, I was not super impressed with him, but I definitely think he looked better than anything I have seen from him. Sharapudin did. I feel like Bruno Silva could have did some things differently, but hey, Sharapudin did a good job. Bruno Silva probably could have mixed in the rest a little bit better earlier. He probably could have been a little bit more aggressive, controlled a little bit on the ground better. But a lot of ifs and buts. But do I feel bad about trying to pick a dog in that spot right there? I don't. I feel like Bruno Silva, the pass were there for him, but ultimately, Sharapudin Magomedov was the better fighter, and he's definitely, at the very least, not a complete fraud right now. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this guy is the truth. He's far from it, but he's definitely proven that he does have some substance. Definitely got to work on that takedown defense, and that's really all I can say on that one. Work on that takedown defense, keep improving on striking, but definitely the biggest thing for him to do is work on that takedown defense, work on offensive wrestling, work on defensive wrestling, work on grappling, because it's going to be a lot of guys looking to grab him after saying how easily Bruno Silva was able to get him to the ground and really keep him there. And those other guys are going to take him down, have better cardio, and be able to land ground and pound transition, not just really sit in the guard or slowly try to transition. They're going to come with be younger, fresher guys looking to wrestle you for 15 minutes. So it ain't going to be no Bruno Silva, some old worn down veteran or older worn down veteran with a lot of malice on him, like Bruno Silva. All right, then the next one was next loss. I'm just talking about loss. So next loss was Nathaniel Wood versus Muhammad Naimov. And yeah, with this one, it wasn't his name Muhammad Naimov. Well, I'm just saying Naimov. It's Wood versus Naimov. And I didn't think the size advantage would be that big a factor for Naimov, but it clearly was. Also, it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt him. It hurt me, but it doesn't hurt him that he got away with like 3 nut shots. He got away with like 2, 3 cage grabs. He got to get away with like at least 1 inside glove grab. So he did a lot of cheating, but didn't pay nothing for it. And definitely one of the cheating helped him from getting taken down. And I think one of the glove grabs kept him in position. So he did a lot of dirty stuff, but he got away with it. So he got home cooking. He got a lot of different things. Well, not his home, but he got regional cooking and got away with it. So I ain't gonna feel bad about that one either. But it's like it still put me in a weird case with it still leaves me in a weird case with that. That was his best performance, but the dark side of it is that he did a lot of dirty stuff to win. And Wood, when he really started connecting, he was clearly showing that he was a better fighter. But ultimately, Naimov did, what he needed to do to win. No matter what you say, he got into takedowns when they were necessary. He cheated when it was necessary. He won. At the end of the day, he won. But the judges, the refs going to not take a point. If people going to see how they want to see it, that's just like a judge manage things the way he wanted to manage it. He definitely won. He got the takedowns. He did well in there. The strength definitely was clear. I thought Wood's technical advantage would do better to maybe not make the size as big a factor. But you got a guy coming from 55, coming to 45, versus a guy from 35 coming up to 45. So you got really like 2 weight class between them, and you definitely saw it in the physical aspects of the fight. But I'm definitely more impressed with Naimov than his last performance. But it's still gonna be another case. Gonna be hard to still predict his fights a bit because yes, you look good, but you were fighting a smaller guy who's very good. So I'm not taking away from the win. You fought some smaller guy. You fought a very good guy in Nathaniel Wood, and you won. big win for you. No matter when the one says, big win for Naimov, but still gonna have some question marks to it. Like, depending on how they rank him, they try to keep him around the same level, or a guy feels like a lesser level than Wood. I'm definitely gonna be on Naimov, but if they try to jump him ahead too far, I can't say I can get behind Naimov. I feel like it's still asterisk on his skill level and his ability, his talent, where he's at. But good win. I think Wood could bounce back from that one. He didn't take a whole lot of damage, so he could bounce back. He probably could return quicker than Namo did. Namo took all the real physical damage. And Namo landed like one real good combination, but I think Wood hurt him like in the first round, just like he got hurt in the first round. He hurt him real bad, and in the third round was close to finish him at the winding second. So Namo gonna have to take more time off. Wood could bounce back real quick. I don't think he took a lot of damage. So, but both guys not gonna lose. I mean, I don't feel like Wood stocks drop too much, and Naimov stocks definitely skyrocket. Well, I'm not gonna say skyrocket because like he had a dominant finish. He almost got finished at the end of the fight. So yeah, his stocks definitely go up, but they're not skyrocketing. Wood stocks stay the same. Naimov stocks go up a little bit, or go up a good bit, especially his credibility. Yeah. Third one was Jubilee versus Breen. Went with Jubilee here. This is my third loss. So Jubilee Breen. Um, yeah, this was really the I guess the stinger of the card because it was a high confidence. All my other high confidence they went through, they did what they had to do. This high confidence didn't do what he had to do. He looked good through the first 2 rounds and maybe a minute, but I don't think it was a case of cardio. I think it was mental and I think it was toughness. Physical toughness and mental toughness weren't there from Jubilee. Jubilee, I think he's one of those fighters, he looks the part, he looks good, he looks solid, but that could be a lot of people. You see guys that just look like straight trash, but they make it all the way to the top of the game. You see guys that look like they're real clean and polished, but they can't get over a hump. And Jubilee's looking like that he's currently in that part where he look like he has skill and talent, and he's building upon it, but he don't have that dog, don't have that grit in him. So he could hit the mitts, he could do all the stuff and go through the motions and real well, and look, he could pass the test if it was a test. But when you put in an actual situation, you try to, I guess, break them. He breaks, and that's what it looked like what happened. Like he looked good through the first 2 rounds, but then Breen started to just bark and walk him down and just keep tagging him and just threw caution to win, and he really had no answer. Like he just froze up. Dude was barking at him. He was like looking like scared, looking lost, looking shocked, didn't know what to do, and ultimately this guy bullied to a finish. Got bullied out there. He didn't know how to react to that. So he could when it's all, I guess, standard, or you sitting down doing a test, or you think the going's good, he's good. But what it shows me, like he's a guy who could break, and this definitely lowers his ceiling tremendously. Am I saying he can't bounce back from this fight? No, but do I predict him to really bounce back from this fight and have a good career? I really didn't expect him to have a phenomenal career in the UFC, but I did think he could get past Breen. I did think they could give him like Breen was supposed to be like a slow route. Like you probably give him this guy, then give him another guy, then maybe one decent guy kind of coming off of like a 3-fight losing streak or something as well, and then eventually start to work him up slowly. I think they can do that with him still, but it definitely going to make it a lot harder for him to do that. And he's definitely going to have to address a lot of personal questions. Is he really made for this game? Because this fight may look like he's not made for it, but talented fighter, but got to work on that physical toughness and mental toughness so he don't end up in a situation like this. At least not in his next fight or his next 2 fights, or maybe not for the next 2 years. But we'll see. Breen got a good win for himself. I don't think he's going to really stick around. I mean, I don't really think he's going to stick around too much longer, regardless. But he did do enough to, with this win, a big win for him, a huge win for him, to save his career and probably give him a good maybe 2 more years in the UFC, depending on how they match him up. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it gives him renewed confidence, and now he's going to evolve as a fighter. But I still can't see him skill wise really sticking around the UFC very long, and all these other guys not going to break like Jubilee broke out there. So yeah, third L. Now fourth L was Muhammad Yaya versus Trevor Peak. And honestly, low confident pick here. So what I had, what were the ones that went wrong? So last one was a high confident. First one low. This one low. Other one average. So 2 out of losses with 2 were low. One was average and one was high. A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. You got low, average, and high. No locks though. I only got a single lock on this card though, but yeah. Yeah. So with this one with Yaya versus Peak, took another swing at a dog here. And I thought Yaya performed well. I just feel like what lost him the fight was, rest defense could have been better. He could have reacted to the shots, the punches a lot better. Like, I feel like the first drop or first whatever they call it, I don't know if they considered it a drop or they just called it a drop. I didn't really look at the stats to say whether they marked it as a drop. But I feel like Peak really connected. I don't feel Peak actually connected on that first shot because I felt like Peak really connected, like, to the effect that it would actually drop him. I feel like Peak would have knocked him out. But I feel like that first drop was kind of like, Yaya never really having the most intelligent defense, so he just kind of just fell to the ground to really avoid getting hit fully with the full power of the shot or whatnot. Or I don't know, just if fear to get hit with a follow up shot or something. But I felt he was like panic guard. Like he don't really have the jiu-jitsu for it, but he would just drop into his butt just to avoid getting punched. I think he did that a couple times. Or, even with the takedowns, he was kind of just give up them a lot of time. Who knows? Because maybe he'd rather be on the bottom than getting hit with with his back against the cage. But I still feel like he fought a good fight. Honestly, I feel like there was a clear angle for him to get the decision. I'm not saying he should have won. I'm not saying it was a bad decision. I'm not saying none of that. But I do think there was a clear enough angle that you possibly could have seen the fight for him, in my honest opinion. Peak did what he had to do, but I feel like it was points when the most significant shot a lot of rounds were the kicks of Yaya. Like he was slamming kicks to Peak and really just forcing Peak on the back for a lot of times. He hit Peak with a lot of good standing, like stepping knees a lot of times in that fight. And in the second round, he had him in a good, like a Darce choke or something. So I feel like he won the second round. Um, Third round, I feel like you could edge the third round for him, but stats say one thing, but when you watch the fight, it look a lot closer than what the judges said. But yeah, am I even talking about what could I do right? What do I do? Like when I'm really just swinging on a dog like this, is it really a case of could you have done this right or could you have done that better? Not really. Because looking at tape, it would have looked like what a lot of people saw it going was that Peak was just going to walk him down. The guy don't have the best defense. That Peak was just going to swing on him and knock him out with his back in his cage. That's basically what it is. Like put him on the back foot. He's going to drop his hands, swing over the top, drop him, follow ground. That's what it looked like. But it went to a decision. I felt it would go to a decision. I know it would be that type of fight. And I think Peak would wrestle. So like it was some things like in the ballpark, some things not. Ultimately, did I pick the right guy? I didn't. But do I feel like it really showed me nothing that I kind of didn't already see? Not really, especially not from Peak. Well, wrestling a little bit, but yeah, not much to say about that. But it's not really a whole lot to learn with these losses, to be honest. It don't really elevate Peak's career like, oh, Peak's so much better now. No. Oh, Yaya is some sleeper. Maybe a little bit, probably not. The other guys, yeah, it's not really a whole lot. I guess Char Budin, that's probably the most one because his wrestling. That's really the one I could learn most from him. As far as picking against him or picking him, the fights that I could stylistically see him winning and losing with the current state of the division. So that's really the guy I can learn most about. But yeah, that's about it for the loss. That's 4 L's. Now I'm gonna reflect on, I guess, what two, 3 wins on the card. Not purely because I'm just talking about wins. Because if it was just wins, I wouldn't talk about them. But because it's interesting things from them. So the first one, Ikram Alisarov versus Wally Alves. Ikram Alisarov looked impressive. I thought Wally Alves was an underrated test for him, and that he would be able to test him a little bit. But he went out. Ikram Alisarov went out there and just picked him apart and looked real good. And in my honest opinion, I don't like. I haven't been super high on Ikram Alisarov, and I'm not gonna say I'm super high on him now, but I'm definitely have shifted from him being like a Chimaev victim to actually being a real deal, legit threat. And yeah, yes, he beat up welterweight, but Wally Alves don't really get done like that very often, or has never got done like that. To be honest, he got stopped, I think, in the first round or second round before, but he never get destroyed like that. Like Alisarov destroyed him. So that was a real impressive performance by Ikram Alisarov, and striking looked real clean, looked real good in that one. I wasn't really super impressed with Phil Hall's performance, because Phil Hall was outstriking him until he wasn't, and Phil Hall typically has a pretty questionable chin anyway. But this one, his striking like the cleanest he's ever looked, cleanest performance from him in the UFC ever, and they look real good. Then we're gonna jump over to our next guy, Khamzat Chimaev, the guy who victimized Alex Arov some years ago. And Khamzat Chimaev against Usman, he did not look very good, to be honest. He could say, oh, he broke his arm in the first round, broke his hand in the first round. Are you fragile? You already had a pre-existing injury. I don't see how you really broke it. I can see when Usman slammed you off his back a little bit. Maybe your forearm came down a little bit and you broke your arm or whatnot. But still, Ricardo did not look very good. And Usman on the side, like he didn't. So I wasn't really super impressed with Chimaev's performance. Like as far as the wrestling getting the takedowns, good. Statistic wise, because nobody really done that to Usman. But I felt Usman came in there fighting like he was just off vacation, like he was just coming in to get a check. I feel like the only time Usman really worked, when he's like, oh, wait, this guy is not really a monster. Like, this all you got? And you start walking down and swinging on him at times. But like even then, he saw Chimaev really have nothing left in the gas tank, and Chimaev not really having no real fight in him. And it's like he just stepped off the gas. And he like I'm step like I'm walking down, touching him pretty much at will. Let me step back. Let me get off him. They paying me to lose anyway, so let me just lose. I wasn't meant to win this one or something like that. I just wanted to check and to not lose bad, I guess. Then like with like a 30-second left, again he's like, "All right, fight about to be over. Let me just swing a little bit." Like it just looked like Usman was not motivated. Even when we look at him training for the fight, look at like probably just a year ago or 2 years ago, him just rolling with Michael Chandler, like the speed of that, or even Gaethje. Look at the speed of him scrambling and wrestling with Gaethje or Chandler, in practice versus the lead up to this fight, how slow and methodic, like lethargic looking the wrestling and scrambling was, leading like same way the defense. Like there was points where he could defend takedowns against Chimaev. And even then, Usman like he wasn't really even trying to defend takedowns like that. And you see Chimaev diving at his legs and head running into the cage. He looked very sloppy. Usman, understandably, this guy's like coming up out of his weight class on short notice with 10-day notice, but you've been training for months to fight a guy, and you come in here looking like that. Yes, you won, and yes, it was a clear decision, but you went in there with no knees, injured, unmotivated Usman, and that's the performance you put up. But who knows? Maybe he had Palestine on his mind, but yeah. Much more impressed with Alex Serov. I know it was a big jump of confidence. You fighting an Usman victim, upper weight class in Warley Alves versus Khamzat Chimaev fighting the former champion Kamaru Usman. Big difference in level of competition, but yeah, his cardio still looking bad. Whether he broke his hand or not, and definitely not a great performance from him. Good win over name, but they both look like they were just having a light sparring matchup, to be honest. So not impressed by that one. And then finally, let's just talk about Islam Makhachev and give him his props for the one time. But yeah, Ikram, I would say Ikram, but Islam Makhachev went out there and destroyed Volkanovski. Whether he came in on 1 day notice, 2 days notice, 2 years notice, or whatnot, he went out there and destroyed him in the first round. I think I was struck him by like 40 strikes to like 10 or 40 to 9 or something like that. And yeah, head kicked him and got him out in the first round. So whether he came in there prepared or not, to do that to Alexander Volkanovski is impressive, and I think that seals his number one pound for pound spot. Until someone else takes it literally from him, not somebody just coming in here winning the belt at another weight class and then running up some title defenses or doing this. Like I think to become number one pound for pound now, it either requires Islam Makhachev retires or that you beat him, or it's gonna be a real hard sell. Like maybe you gotta, I don't know what's going on. What's this? Yeah, maybe it's light of mine, but yeah, it's gonna be a real hard sell to get over him. Yeah, like, you gotta do something real crazy. You gotta go on like a super long winning streak, or he gotta have some bad performances. It's really a lot of stuff, but I think the real clearest way to get it, the number one pound for pound spot right now, is either Makhachev retires or becomes very absent, or you beat him. So the clearest one is you gotta beat him because you can't wait around all day to get it. But so you welterweights, featherweights, lightweights, you want that pound for pound on one spots. You people of different organizations, you got to go through Islam Makhachev. He looked very good in that performance. And as far as Volkanovski, I think he went from looking like the man at 145. He still hasn't really, matter of fact, he still hasn't lost at 45. But I think this win is definitely going to cause a lot of people to see real blood in water. I feel like the first one set some blood in the water, but this one truly just painted the waters red with blood. So the guy waiting most for is Ilya Topuria. If he bounce back too quick and try to fight Topuria in 2 months, he get knocked out again. Likely retired. Career, ended abruptly, kind of. Give him some time. Probably be able to give a better fight, but I still think at this point, Ilya Topuria should beat him. I think my prediction for the champ by the end of this year was Topuria at 45, but the fact that there's only so much time left in this year, it's not gonna happen. I just think it's gonna probably be another interim title shot, and I don't think Volkanovski is not gonna fight again until like February of next year. But yeah, nonetheless, great performance from Islam Makhachev. Give that dude all his props, and I think he's really already having a great. He already has a Hall of Fame career, and he could be the one to break the lightweight record. I think that's what he should do next. Break the lightweight record because people have just been leaving it at 3. I think Khabib could have broke it, but he retired at 3. Ben Henderson was very close to it. He was at 3, but he couldn't beat Pettis. So if Pettis didn't exist, Ben Henderson probably would have 4 or 5 title defenses. But Pettis existed and took the belt from him, just like he took his WEC belt from him. And now you got Islam Makhachev. He's not at 3 yet, but his next fight will be 3. I think he should get up, break that, and get 4, so we can actually have finally break that record, that lightweight record after all these years. And I think he's more than capable of doing that. That would be phenomenal for his career. And if I think he does that, I think he's the greatest lightweight of all time. Right now, he's number 2. But if he breaks that record, he's number 1. In my honest opinion, he breaks that, he's number 1. Gets 2 more defenses, he's number 1. And then challenge for the welterweight title instead of trying to just jump up without breaking that record. Because it's so annoying to see that record just sit there when people are capable of breaking it. Like, no insult to BJ Penn, Ben Henderson, or Khabib, but that record needs to be broken. It's these other weight classes that have fighters that, have these great fighters that come around and been able to extend the records. And the lightweight division has had great fighters, but they just either haven't been able to do it or just haven't been willing to do it. So I just feel time for that record to be broken. It's been enough years, and it's time for that record to be extended. And I think Makachev will be able to do it. And yeah, that's the video. So again, I went 7-4, really 9-4, but we're not doing that. So 7-4, 7-4-2, 7 wins, 4 losses. Win to loss ratio 7-4, and that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.